Detour 1.5 miles ahead.
It's all part of the adventure.
Welcome back to Suits to Sandals. We are Dre, Wiley, and Maisha. And in this series, we're going to take you guys along with us on our second bike tour. Come along as we ride the historic Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Towpath along the Potomac River. 185 miles from Cumberland, Maryland to Washington, D.C.
Good morning. It is morning of day 5. Last night we finished the Gap Trail and then we climbed up this brutal hill to get to the Hampton Inn. We did a hotel stay last night, did some laundry, so we're feeling fresh and clean, and today we start the C&O Canal. Maisha's getting very used to hotel stays. We did a good amount on the East Coast Greenway. She enjoys them. All loaded up and ready to go. The plan is to do it over like 5 or 6 days. We're gonna take our time. We're a little bit concerned about how Maisha's trailer's gonna do. When we were on the ECG, the East Coast Greenway, we were having issues with like gravelly stuff where her wheels were wedging out, so we're hoping it's not an issue because we've heard and seen pictures that this trail is not going to be as smooth and flat as the Gap Trail. So today we're just gonna feel it out, see how it goes. As long as we have no issues with our trailer, we will be in DC in 5 or 6 days.
So this is the road coming from the hotel. It's pretty steep. We had to climb this yesterday on our way up here, which after a 30-something mile day, it's not our favorite thing to do. So just a heads up for anyone thinking about staying at the Hampton Inn. This is the bad boy that we had to climb up from Canal Place. It's a long one. And that is the hill. How you guys doing? How's it going? Awesome. So yeah, it's 1.3 miles from Canal Place up to the Hampton Inn. No complaints about the hotel at all, but that hill will get you.
Are you going across the country? Have a nice trip.
Thanks a lot. Must be carrying too much stuff. They look at us and think we're going across the country. We do have a lot of stuff. It's part of the deal. Morning of day 5. We're back at Canal Place. This is the end of the Gap Trail and the beginning of the C&O Canal.
So this statue is here because the C&O Canal used to be a towpath. So you used to use the mules and the horses to drag the supplies. So a nice little statue to pay homage to that. Start of the canal path.
Well, this is your public service announcement, Maisha. This portion of the trail is not going to be as smooth as the last. Just saying. So we're about 2 to 3 miles in. The canal towpath has broken into 2 tire track areas, and I think this is what it's supposed to be like pretty much the whole way. So the rolling resistance isn't that bad for the bikes. Maisha's gonna get a little bit more bounce than the last 150 miles. But she's on a memory foam mattress, and even though the trailer's jiggling around, she's not really moving around that much. So I think it'll be okay. She probably just won't be taking any naps on this trail.
So here's a good spot where you can see where the canal was. There's some water up there. Here's the towpath, and then here's the Potomac River. They are just next to each other. The mosquitoes are out today though. Gotta keep on moving on those when we stop their short breaks, because the mosquitoes are out.
Yep.
There was a whole bunch of painted turtles on that branch. There's still a couple.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Kind of a cool gravel ride. Cruising.
So we just got to lock 75, which was like the first real lock so far on the trail. There's the canal. And then along the way, some of these old historical buildings, these lock houses, you can actually stay the night in, which is pretty cool. Mile marker 174. Miles are going pretty smooth on the C&O Towpath so far. I'm definitely liking this C&O. I think it's cool. There's a lot of history, and there's just a lot more things to see. It's a little bit less of a green tunnel than the Gap Trail was, which is nice. Navigate through this mud without eating it. As you can see, it's a little bit more rough of a path, but so far it's been pretty good. There's been a good amount of people on the trail today, but it is a Friday, so I'm sure some of them are just day riders. We've definitely seen people with packs, so some of them are going all the way to Washington as well. Everyone of like a 5-year-old kid all the way up to like 70, 80 are out riding today, so that's cool to see.
Here comes lock 73. Seems like there's 75 on the canal. There's a water pump for some fresh water. This site here used to be a steam pump. It's kind of cool. If the water got low in the canal, we would pump it from the Potomac into the canal to maintain the water level. And basically they boiled water to create steam. Steam powered some large pumps. The pumps filled up the well, and the well overflowed down this channel into the canal. Fancy.
And the Potomac is right on the other side there. And this was what, 1870? Impressive. Over to the canal, which is dry right here. So our plan tonight is to get to at least Purslane Run campsite, and we're just gonna play it by ear. We'll see how we feel when we get there. I think it's at least 30 something miles into the trail, and we're not doing big miles when we drag her. We don't need to be doing huge miles. She'll get sick of being in the cart all day, so we're trying to stick to between 30 to 40 miles on this trail. So we're just gonna see how we feel. We'll look at the marker to tell us where the next campsite is, and if we're feeling good, we'll continue. But we'll see. The goal is to at least get to Paw Paw tonight. So along the C&O, there's hiker-biker campsites, which are free to stay. And the cool thing on the C&O, it tells you when the next one is. So Potomac Forks is next in 4.3 miles, or if you're going the opposite way, Iron Mountain is 6.3. Pack in, pack out, which is totally fine. And they even have picnic tables. They're good size grassy areas to set up your tent. And there's wells to pump water. So pretty cool. I think we're gonna be doing a lot of camping along the C&O. I don't think we're gonna be doing as much like inns or B&Bs, but this is so nice and it's free. So we just stopped for lunch at Potomac Forks, which is one of the campsites. We are just making up some ramen and just having a little bit of a break. She's enjoying herself. I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, so far so good. Miles have been going good. Everything's been fairly easy breezy, right?
Yeah. Reasonably easy trail. Some of it is under tree canopy, so it is a little damp and muddy and ruddy in certain spots. You just gotta do some puddle dodging. But yeah, overall not bad. Detour 1.5 miles ahead. That's it. That's the detour. Well, that was tough stuff.
So the Pawpaw Tunnel is closed, so we can't go underneath it. So we have to take, I think this is more of a hiking trail. It says it's steep and strenuous. So we shall see how this is gonna go with Maisha's trailer. It's all part of the adventure. Glad it's your turn. We just switched, so that was perfect timing for me.
Did not anticipate hike-a-biking through the woods with Maisha cakes in her trailer attached to my bike. Something tells me I'm pushing this thing over this mountain that the tunnel goes through. I smartened up. I let Maisha out of the trailer. So she's walking her butt up this one. But it's still tough. Still going. And now we got our view. Pawpaw, West Virginia, and the Pawpaw Bends. Ooh, man.
This is quite the detour, because we were down where the river was to come up. For this tunnel detour, I am dripping in sweat. Wasn't expecting to hike a bike on this trip. But we're getting there. They're actively doing work, so they're gonna escort us down the other side of the hill. So we're getting loaded up on the side-by-side. And Wiley, because he has the dog, is going to be escorted by the side-by-side with my C&O.
Well, hopefully my brakes are up for this challenge. I'm gonna go ahead and stay in the middle, thinking that I'm gonna have the most traction, because some of this mud and dirt on the sides looks like it could be greasy, and I don't really feel like doing over the handlebars with the dog behind me. This is gonna smoke my brakes. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is mountain bike level, downhill slide steep. So I was on my brakes for 80-85% of that, pulsing them on and off, on and off, on and off, trying to keep them cool. Hopefully that helped, who knows. Now I get to do some uphill. Why'd I get there ride? Not complaining though, I'd kind of rather ride this than riding the 4x4. Back to the steep stuff. Did not think I was getting this on my rail trail ride this week. What do you think, Maisha? You having fun back there? Oh, he can't even make the turn. Brakes are hot. Yeah. Well, that was exciting.
So we have completed the detour. That was an interesting one. Because originally we were like, oh, let's go to the next campsite. It's only 3.3 miles. But had we gone through that and did that later, that would have taken a while to get through. And they stop giving people a shuttle down the mountain and up the mountain at 7 p.m., which is sunset. So I don't think there'd be that many people that would be biking up or down it. Maisha was definitely the first dog ever to be part of the detour. The guy told me he had to talk to his supervisor because he didn't know what to do with the dog, so that's why Wiley was able to like follow them down the mountain, but it was pretty steep. We just passed Stickpile Hill campsite, which is about 35 trail miles in. We're at about 37 miles for the day, and it's only 4:45. So Devil's Alley is the next campsite, and that's only 5.1 away. So our plan is to get there and then camp for the night, because that'll give us more than enough time to set up camp and get ready. So 5.1 more miles. We did top off our water bottles though at Stickpile Hill because we've noticed that some of the pumps don't have handles on it. So just to be on the safe side, we topped off our water. Got pumps at every campsite. Gotta work for it. Just in case if Devil's Alley doesn't have the spigot or not. Is 8 o'clock, a little after. We just got done eating dinner and we are camping at Devil's Alley tonight, and then tomorrow we are going to continue towards DC. She's down there sleeping, and we did about 40 trail miles today. Anything you want to mention about today?
Nope. It was a good day. Tomorrow we're going to stop in Hancock. It's about 20 miles in. Do a little resupply, make sure we don't run out of food before we finish, because according to our calculations, we're cutting it close.
We basically have like 3 real meals each and a bunch of snacks, so I think we need to just make sure we have enough to get us until the end of the trail. But we will show the campsite in the morning, continue this tomorrow.